On today's episode of the Cryptoverse, an update on the race to avoid a Bitcoin split, 150,000 Ether has been stolen from a multi-sig wallet, and the age-old argument whether you can buy coffee with cryptocurrency has been resolved. All of that coming up on today's episode of the Cryptoverse, so stay right there. So you're paranoid about the security of your cryptocurrency, and you want to buy a hardware wallet so you can keep your money safe. But which hardware wallet should you buy? Well, the Crypto Hardware Wallet Superstore has written a free buyer's guide especially for you. Check it out today by clicking on the link in the video description below. Hi there guys, welcome to the latest episode of the Cryptoverse, your regular dose of news and commentary on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and blockchains. I'm your host, Chris Coney, the founder of Cryptoversity, the online school where you can learn about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and blockchains. Find out more at cryptoversity.com. So you've tuned into the news and commentary show of the Cryptoverse. I have 3 news stories for you today, starting with where exactly we are at with the whole avoiding a split in the Bitcoin network thing. So yesterday we looked at this site, which is xbt.eu. Here it is right here. This gives us the stats of where we're at in relation to where we were yesterday. So right at this moment in time, we still need 90 out of the next 112 blocks to signal for BIP91, or we'll have to start all over again with a brand new lock-in period, which is another set of 336 blocks. Now, I've been watching the figures over the last 24 hours, and the support in the pie chart here, the donut, it's been fluctuating 1 or 2 percentage points around 80%, sometimes higher, sometimes lower. And we need 80% to be maintained as an average for the lock-in to happen. Now, it says 112 blocks are still remaining in the current lock-in period, which is approximately 18 hours. So by tomorrow, we will know if we've hit the threshold or not in this lock-in period. So of course, I will check back in at that time and let you know what happened. Of course, at any time, you may go to the site yourself and check the stats. Actually, you'll probably get to it before I do tomorrow's news and commentary show. So if you really want the news about these stats firsthand, before even I get to them, check out xbt.eu. Second story for today, 150,000 Ether has been stolen from a multi-sig Parity wallet. So this story is all over the place about this. I turn to several sources, Zeppelin Solutions, Charlie Lee, a whole bunch of other sources. The story basically is that a vulnerability was found in version 1.5 of the Parity multi-sig wallet. Now, a multi-sig wallet is one that requires 2 or more private keys in order to sign a transaction and move funds. So this is useful if you raise, say, a large sum of money in an ICO and you want to make sure that no single person can just run off with the money or transfer it out. So it's ironic that the ICOs that use this multiple signature setup, like Edgeless Casino, Swarm City, and Eternity Blockchain, they did this, setting up a multi-sig wallet. They did it for security reasons, but that very act is where the security hole was. So the advice is anyone that's currently using this version of the Parity wallet should move their money out immediately. In fact, I have the announcement from Parity themselves right here. This is the security release from their blog. I will put it in the video description so you can see it for yourself. But the first act is to move all your Ether and any ERC20 tokens out of the affected wallets immediately. Now, this was able to happen because of some slightly sloppy code that was written by, well, the developers of the Parity multisig wallet. And the problem was they didn't define the scope of a method, right? So the programming language that was created especially for Ethereum is called Solidity. And in Solidity, if you don't specify the scope of a method in your code, it defaults to public. That way, the attacker was able to call this initialize wallet method and then set the owner of the wallet to themselves, thereby completely bypassing any security. Now you can blame the developer of the actual multi-sig wallet for, slightly sloppy code, or you can blame the creators of Solidity for setting the methods to public by default. I mean, security by default would be to say, set the default scope to private, and then force developers to make methods public by specifying them one by one, specifically saying which ones were public rather than all of them being public and then setting specific ones to private or limited permissions, right? Now, Charlie Lee points out, and I've been scanning his Twitter feed here, he's got quite a bit to say about this. He points out that it's not so much about blaming the developer or the creator of Solidity. This is just proof that writing smart contracts in Solidity is error prone, because it's easy for a coder to forget to do small things like this and introduce huge bugs. So I'll link to Charlie's Twitter so you can see what he said about this. So this is the second largest hack in terms of the amount of Ether that was stolen. The largest ever was the DAO disaster that caused Ethereum to split into two and caused about $50 million equivalent of Ether to be stolen. Now, to their credit, it was the Parity team themselves that initially reported this problem, and I just showed you their blog post on that. So I'll put a link to that in the show notes as always. Final thing I'll say about this, in this case, even a hardware wallet wouldn't have prevented the problem because the attacker didn't steal the private keys. The vulnerability simply turned a multi-sig wallet into a zero-sig wallet. So it allowed them to move the funds as if they were the owner of the wallet, the singular owner, because they were, right? They used the exploit to set themselves as the sole owner of the wallet. That was the first transaction they sent to it. And then the second transaction was to say, move the funds over here to another wallet that they controlled. So that's a bit of a bug. There's a bug right there. It's a huge bug, right? Anyway, so if you're not affected by this, fine. If you are affected by this, follow the official advice in the show notes that I will link to in today's video description. So from bad news to good news. Dash officially approved by Apple, and they've released an instant send enabled iPhone wallet app. Yikes. So here we go, over to Dash Force News, which is why I found this story. So this is really good news. The reason this is good news is because Dash have had a bit of a tough time with Apple, right? You may remember a little while ago that Dash had trouble getting their iOS app on the App Store. Do you remember this? They had trouble rolling out updates and so on. And like one version would be approved and then the next update wouldn't be approved. And Jax couldn't seem to get a straight answer out of Apple as to what the problem was, since there were other wallet apps available through the App Store that supported other privacy-focused currencies, but they couldn't understand why Dash was causing a problem. So anyway, now Jax is working fine through the App Store, and I have it on my iPhone. The problem is these Dash-enabled phone wallet apps don't support the reason people use Dash, which is the special features like instant send and private send. Well, now the official Dash wallet is available for the iPhone, and it supports instant send. So let me skip you over right here to the App Store. Here it is, official Dash wallet by the Dash Foundation Incorporated. I've just downloaded it, so it does exist. Now, the real reason why this is big news is because it destroys the whole, yeah, but can you buy a cup of coffee with crypto? You know, that argument. Well, the answer is now yes, right? If you pay with Dash and use the instant send feature, you get low fees and you get an instant confirmation. I mean, you can walk out of the coffee shop with your purchase and the merchant is guaranteed to get paid because the confirmation is instantaneous, like seconds. Now the Dash wallet with Instant Send is available for Android already, by the way, so now the vast majority of mobile phones have the ability to do Instant Send transactions, and they can instantly send money in between themselves. In fact, like I was saying, the first thing that I did when I heard this news was to download this new Dash wallet for myself. So check this out. I'm going to hold up my QR code, and then do I want Dash to send me push notifications? Yeah, go on in. So I'm going to hold up my Dash address here. So anyone who wants to send me a tip via Instant Send, please feel free to do so. I need to get this clear, because if it's not clear, it won't actually scan when you scan it. So I'll hold it up for 2 more seconds. So go for it. Download the Dash wallet app. See if you can send me an Instant Send transaction. If you want to send me a tip, that is, I'd very much appreciate it. I'm going to mess around sending Instant Send transactions to my Dash Core wallet. I might send one to my Keep key. The trouble is that will confirm instantly, but it won't be able to go back out of the Keep key instantly because Keep key doesn't support Instant Send. So, you know, this is the only limitation at the moment. Okie dokie then. That's all I've got for you in terms of the news today. Thank you very much for joining me. If you liked this episode, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, please get subscribed. And if you want access to my very best stuff, check out cryptoversity.com. Alright guys, I'll be back tomorrow with another edition of the Cryptoverse Markets Roundup and another edition of the News and Commentary Show. So until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.